This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So I'm filming this on Sunday morning, and I find the vibe really interesting. You know, it's calm, it's quiet. At the same time, you can feel that something is brewing. And when I say brewing, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about anything super intense, but it almost feels like you're on the precipice of something. You know, there's a change happening, there's a shift happening. I don't know how many of you experienced a bit of tension in regards to conversations recently. You know, there's been some wounds coming to the surface. There's been this sort of shocking news that came in with, I believe, a Mercury-Uranus aspect. You know, Uranus is basically like sudden things, upheaval, and Mercury, of course, is communication. And I know that I had it. I can tell you that I had it. And that was, I believe, for May 31st, you know, and take these things with a grain of salt in the sense of the dates, but approximately May 31st, you know, and I certainly encountered this example where a lot of things came to the surface. Boundaries, you know, I think boundaries are the word of the day every day. And how many of you right now are in the process of reevaluating your boundaries? Resetting your boundaries, enforcing your boundaries, making boundaries, whatever it is, it's all about conversation, boundaries, and new things brewing, you know? On the other hand, I will say that things coming to the surface are not totally bad because they do clear the air, but it's not easy. It's not easy to have these conversations. So, you know, you might be finding yourself almost tired because you've been trying to get these conversations, what's the word? Not be over, but, you know, process, work through, you know. Anyways, I digress. Let me know in the comments what you're feeling today. You know, like, what's your word of the day? What's your word of the last few days or a week? Whatever you'd like to share. But essentially, you can feel something brewing. We're on this precipice of change. Now, let's take a look at some overall themes and messages. And we have here balance, sacrifice, and joy. You know, when I see this card right away, I'm reminded, of course, of the Sun card in tarot, right? Because it's Leo energy. There's the lion. You know, this is like forward motion, having the courage to push yourself forward. You know, number 6 on this card is about balance. And we want our happiness, we want our joy. And sometimes in order to do that, we've got to make boundaries, we've got to make lines in the sand, you know? Okay, let's take a look at what else we need to know about this energy. And we have space. I take this 2 ways. May your heart and your scope expand. Well, absolutely. We want to expand our horizons, right? We want to explore. We want to explore the areas around us, of course. So we want expansion. And whenever I hear expansion, I'm thinking of Jupiter, you know, growth, expansion, good luck, and change, right? But space also. I want to make a point about something that came up in some readings that I filmed this past week. And I do think that there are people who need a bit of space. They need some time to process. The word in the readings recently was refuge, you know, somebody taking refuge. There's this fear of vulnerability, this fear of going to the next level, maybe if this is a relationship or a job or whatever it could be for you. But the point is that some people need a bit of time and space to think things through and process where they're at and where they want to be, you know? So I think there are some major decisions here that are being made, but there's no rush for anything really. Let things unfold, you know? So let's take a look at what else we need to know. Okay, felt like there was more than one card. Grieve your losses. There you go. There you go. Well, there's so many things about that. You know, first of all, your new life is going to cost you your old life. And I think there are a lot of people who are grieving old stories and situations or having realizations about those old stories and situations. So in other words, it's hard to make change, right? But change is necessary. You know, we can't avoid change. You know, things happen whether we want them to or not. That's why things come to the surface, because they've been ignored for so long, right? And so basically, there is this level of sadness, and like I said, maybe even isolation or taking refuge to think things through or to reminisce a little bit. I know that the nostalgia has been really prominent for people. So I don't know, let me know in the comments if you're feeling nostalgic. But at the same time, there is a level of excitement in the air, and nothing has to be scary, you know? Wow, deep thoughts for a Sunday morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these cards off to the side, and then we'll come back to them if necessary. You know, we'll see what cards come out. But I am excited for this reading today. I wanted to take these chakra cards, these oracle cards. They are huge, by the way. Let's see. Let's take a look at Monday. What do we need to know? Relationships, there you go. Not surprised. Intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. Okay, so something that I mentioned in the relationship reading that I posted on Friday. Now, obviously, these readings are timeless, so when I'm saying the dates, they don't have to necessarily line up with the day that you're watching this. But, you know, the last relationship reading that I did before this, we talked about, you know, making changes and shifts happening, and there's a progression, and you can see the progression in these relationships. There's also these aspects with Venus right now that are bringing a real change to relationships, a depth, an expression, a feeling. I feel like a lot of people are focusing on relationships right now. Now, look at these two hands. We could interpret this card in various ways. To me, this is almost like thought, you know, where somebody's sort of contemplating with their, you know, their hands. You know, I almost picture somebody like sitting on the edge of a sofa. Maybe this is you right now. I don't know. Sitting on the edge of a sofa or a chair, kind of leaning over your lap, and head sort of like not hunched over, but like in deep thought, you know, hands at your knees, just in deep thought about relationships. So I kind of feel like there's this question about what is happening and where are things going. Now, we can't try to control the outcome. Let it happen. And that was the title of a video that I actually just posted this morning. Let it happen. Let things unfold naturally. If somebody needs time, let them take time. If you need time, take time. Now, another thing to point out here, though, is that's not me giving you a license to wait on anybody. If this has been a scenario where you've been waiting many, 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 many months or years, I want you to use, you know, discernment in that statement. You know, if this is a relationship that's been growing steadily, you know, where you're not encountering ghosting or breadcrumbing or whatever, you know, you've got to be very careful about what you allow, you know, what kind of behaviors. I'm talking about if this is something that's been fairly consistent and there's been ambition and there's been, you know, good talks, then, you know, give somebody the space that they need. But again, I think people are making a lot of decisions in love. I mean, Gemini season, let's put it this way. Gemini season is about, you know, the twins, right? Gemini energy, the two sides, the masculine and the feminine. The Lover's card in tarot is all about a decision in love. So maybe there are some decisions here about relationships. Now, ultimately, the Lovers is about deep soul connections as well, soulmates, twin flames, whatever label you want to use. But I feel like there's a lot of decisions being made. Tuesday, third eye chakra, trust your intuition. What does your intuition tell you? There could be some clarity here. On Wednesday, we have here sound. I want to say the sound of music. I don't know if anybody's watching The Sound of Music or thinking about The Sound of Music. Number 33, Ascended Masters. Master teacher, learning a lot of lessons, music, silence, rhythm, vibration. I don't know if you can hear it, but just as I had a moment of silence here thinking about this card, I could hear this bird outside chirping. Interesting. Birds are all about communication, and this card is blue, and blue is the throat chakra. The sound of birds, sound of music. A bird's song. Wow, that bird's really going. Maybe there's some music right now that's very important to you or that you're playing, a song that really means something to you. Be mindful, of course, of replaying old songs that can pull you backwards. Don't get me wrong, I love music, but it can pull you backwards as well. Okay, let's take a look at Thursday. Home, shelter, safety, nurturing, and warmth. What makes you feel like home? This is the root chakra. Your foundation. I'm having all these deep thoughts. Deep thoughts for Sunday morning. Okay, let's take a look at Friday. Solar plexus, personal power. Very, very interesting. Like we're getting two very specific chakra cards. They're all chakra cards, but like it would almost be like a major and minor arcana, in tarot. Like these are the major and these would be like the minor. The solar plexus is personal power and it's making moves. Here's what I was saying at the very beginning. It's almost like somebody's taking refuge. Maybe you just want to be at home and you want to listen to music and contemplate something. Think about your intuition. What is your intuition telling you? And then making the move, So let's take a look. Inspiration, ideas, spark, conception, impulse. Wow. This is Saturday. What I think is interesting is what inspires you? Like really, truly, have you thought about it? Like what are you passionate about? What do you love to do? What did you stop doing because life got in the way? The thing about, I mentioned this the other day, the thing about masculine and feminine energy is that sometimes we neglect that creativity is feminine energy. Sparking something new. Being creative, artistically, musically, whatever it is. Coming up with new ideas, asking questions, being curious about your own self, your own growth, your own change, right? I always say, like, if you're asking the who, what, when, where, why, and how about a relationship or trying to control something in regards to a relationship, well, then you got to be careful because that can be masculine energy. Obviously, every situation is different and there are different degrees to which we are in those energies. But my point is that what inspires you? What inspires you the most? Okay, let's take a look at, geez, I lost track. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, let's take a look at Sunday. You can tell I'm in deep thought. Forgiveness, letting go, healing, growth, and compassion. Heart chakra. What do you need to forgive? Something needs to be forgiven and let go of. And it can even be just forgiving yourself, I think we're hardest on ourselves. Let's take a look at a sneak peek at the following week. Responsibility, self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, and fulfillment. Look at see, this is why I love cards. Cards are a tool, right? They're not going to necessarily tell you your future, but they're going to tell you the energies. And they can show you such beautiful imagery. And I want you to take a second. I want you to see if you know what I'm about to say. Okay? I want you to look at this card and I want you to think to these other cards here. This is maybe me teaching a bit of card reading. I want you to look at this card and tell me, if you'd like to, what connection this is to the other cards. This says self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, fulfillment. And I want you to think about the imagery for a moment. At the very beginning, I talked about this card and I was looking at the hands. And the hands here were in contemplation, okay? And now I'm looking at this and I see the hands now sort of being open to receiving, nurturing the seed here, trusting the process, being responsible, having discipline, feeling empowered to feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? Because the inspiration here is about asking questions and birthing new ideas so that they can grow into something absolutely beautiful and amazing, things that you never thought possible. And so right away, you can see a shift here that this week, you may be focusing on relationships, intimacy, even how to find your freedom. And that can include the boundaries that I just talked about. Freedom from things that are holding you back, accepting what is, trusting the process, trusting your intuition, listening to the sounds around you, focusing on vibration. What rhythm are you in? What flow are you in? And that's going back to the reading. Really, if you haven't watched the relationship reading that I just did, I would, because now I can already see connections here. Granted, I did film that yesterday, because I was a day late from my traveling. But this is about finding that refuge at home. What makes you feel at home? What makes you authentically you? Who are you at your core? Now, many people will say, well, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a daughter, I'm a son, I'm a sister, I'm a brother, I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a banker, I'm a sales associate, I'm a whatever the title is that authentically you, or is that a label? Like, are you happy? Are you kind? Are you ambitious? It's amazing how we go to, like what labels, I'm by trade a high school teacher. Is that exactly who I am? No, I'm so much more than that. Am I a tarot card reader? Yes, but I'm so much more than that. It's more about the adjectives, I want you to think about who you are at your core authentically. And then again, the solar plexus here is taking action. And here you have a card that is yellow, and it's about you taking action, being responsible to yourself, to your growth and evolution, being inspired by something, and forgiving, letting go, and being compassionate. Super, super important. Wow. Okay, let's take a look at the tarot now. Boy, I've been talking already for 17 minutes. This feels like it's going to be a long one. I'll do my best. But hey, if it's got to come out, it's got to come out. So, relationships, Monday. 10 of Pentacles. Having it all looks different to everyone. It sure does. Isn't that funny? I was drawn to this deck today because I hadn't used it in a while. Yeah, intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. What does it mean to have it all? But that's what we want. We want tangible fulfillment and happiness. The third eye chakra, which is the intuition. The Five of Wands. Some of you are conflicted. Five of Wands is, should I, shouldn't I? Can I have this? Can I really have this? Maybe that's the contemplation, right? Is it intuition or is it anxiety? The sound card here, the music, the throat chakra. Ooh, the Knight of Cups, love. Romanticize the present moment every chance you get. Isn't it so romantic? And I don't necessarily mean like in a relationship, it doesn't have to be. But like the idea of playing music, being artistic. You know why it's romantic? Because it's coming from your heart. It's opening your heart, being creative, being nurturing, drawing, painting, sculpting, dancing, playing music, whatever it means to you. But wow, this is like inviting you on Wednesday to open your heart. And here is the home card, like I said. Shelter, safety, nurturing, and warmth. What makes you feel safe? Well, now we got the King of Cups. Oh, look at there's like the bird here. Not saying this is the bird that would be singing, but like interesting how I just talked about a bird outside of my window here to my left. Always compose yourself before giving a response. Compose yourself. Take shelter. Now, solar plexus. This, see, the sun. Solar plexus. This is such a beautiful reading. I'm so in awe of this. Give yourself permission to experience joy. It's one thing to ask for happiness, another thing to allow it. Okay, inspiration. Oh my goodness, you can't make this up. Ace of Wands. Don't you see how your passion makes you glow? I asked you, I said, what are you passionate about? What do you love to do that you stopped doing because life got in the way? Maybe light a candle today, just to have a moment, set an intention. Purpose, passion. Okay, let's see this forgiveness card here. Six of Pentacles, equal giving and receiving in balance. Every blessing you give will eventually be returned to you. It's about investment in yourself, letting things go so that you can grow. Let it go so you can grow. That's my new mantra. I'm sure it's been said a million times by people, but for some reason it just clicks right now. Let it go so you can grow. So you can grow. Wow. Okay. Self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, and responsibility. Temperance. Let go of self-imposed limitations. Let it go so you can grow. You cannot make this up. Look at the plants, the flowers. Patience. And by the way, temperance is also forgiveness. Patience, forgiveness. Yes, it can be reconciliation, but it also is alchemy, right? Blending, brewing, turning something into something else. You know, I always say, take what you've learned from the past, apply it to the present so you can have a better future. And so let's take a look at the oracle cards here. Here you go. Some of you may be having a bit of a tower moment on Monday, you know, and don't take the tower moment as a bad thing. It doesn't have to be. Actually, I've been through tower moments like all of you, and I look at it as growth, upheaval, action. It's time to take some action. But it doesn't have to be necessarily sudden, like I said. I mean, it can suddenly come in and kind of hit you like a ton of bricks, sure. But it doesn't mean you have to like change the world today or tomorrow, as long as you're taking slow, methodical steps, right? So 5 of Wands, conflict, 11-11, spiritual ascension, balancing masculine and feminine energies. There's the inspiration. There's the intuition coming in. 11-11, brand new beginnings. Heart chakra, opening your heart, expanding your heart. We just talked about that right here. And the lily is about ambition, experience, development. Your heart is developing. Your communication is developing. Being in tune with your emotions. Here's the thing. 2 ways you can look at this card. You can look at this card as being stuck, or you can look at it as stability. Feeling secure and safe. So we did talk about safety, you know, with the home card. So what makes you feel safe and at home and authentically you? And there's the sun. There you go. Beautiful. The butterfly, metamorphosis. Be open, embrace change, evolution of the soul, rising up, inspiration, reinventing yourself. What does that look like? And let's look at this Ace of Wands, this passion. Ooh, the elephant. Obstacles removed. Remove them. You're more powerful than you even realize. You're wise. Trust yourself. Have your wits about you. Be gentle with yourself. You might be having some very lucid dreams or very vivid dreams. I know I am. 6 of Pentacles here, investment. Yes, heart-centered. Overcoming difficulties, majestic authority. We talked about the Leo energy even at the beginning. You know, having the courage to overcome these difficulties and let go of self-imposed limitations. The sneak peek here, the fish. Resources, investments, prosperous. Everything's going to be okay. With time, patience, and effort, you can make anything possible. You can have everything you could ever imagine. And just for, last thoughts here, obviously, we want balance. We want this joy of the sun. We want this space, this expansion. May your heart and your scope expand. This is expanding our hearts, being open. And yes, we're grieving our losses, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with letting go of the old so we can have the new. Sorry, I have some cards that are in a bag from when I was traveling. I want to use these for a moment. These are the Inner Child Oracle cards. I just want to take a card here. And it says, say yes. There you go. I can't even make that up. Look at the beautiful flowers in the background. I almost feel like this is a bit of a tower here, but it's not. But it could be. I mean, it's a whole mixture of I hear the birds again outside. Now is the time to be open and receive. Wow. I really hope this resonates with you. Thank you so much always for your kindness and support. I send you so much love, and I wish you an amazing week.